But talking about the amount of minutes he's playing, and I think he had a game high last night in terms of minutes. And I wanted to segue back into the game tonight. The Clippers are playing. Kawhi Leonard's playing his first game after he had missed 3 games in a row, and we've seen this type of management from him last year with the Raptors. Throughout his career, he hasn't really played the majority of the games that many times. I'm Guru. Why don't you start us off? What is your thoughts in terms of one maybe like Kawhi Leonard situation specifically in terms of load management and how it will eventually potentially affect the league going forward in terms of teams maybe preserving their superstars?
I think that load management is gonna be a thing that's gonna happen in the league now. I think that you have to do it. I mean, 82 games is a lot, is a long season. Plus the playoffs, you're playing. If you're going to the finals, you're playing 100 plus games every year. Especially for players like LeBron, he plays 100. He's playing 100 games every year, and it's a toll on your body. Not everybody can, especially players who are injury prone, like Kawhi, who's dealt with injuries throughout his entire career, and his injuries have plagued him somewhat. I think that load management has proven for him to be very beneficial, especially down the stretch. If your team can win games and your team can be in games, your team's deep enough to play these games and win them while allowing you to play 60, 65 games, I mean, you should be able to do it. I think that's perfectly fine. Um, and especially for this Clippers team, they're super deep. They have two All Stars that are of the highest caliber, probably two of the 10 best players in the league right now, especially with all the injuries to other players in the league. So why not sit him for a couple games, let him rest, and then bring him back? And you do this intermittently, and you get through the season without hopefully him getting a prolonged injury. So like I'm 100% for it. I mean, it is what it is. It's the league we live in, and if you want to legislate it out of the game, make the season shorter, and I don't think that's going to happen. So then you're going to have to deal with the consequences of such a long season.
And that's the dangerous thing about this is I think people are worried it's going to set this precedence that players aren't going to play all the seasons. Does that mean when I buy a ticket to an NBA game, you know, for example, later this month, thinking about going to go see the Trailblazers play the Lakers, like, am I going to be scared that LeBron James isn't going to show up to the game? And one, is that really fair to the consumer? And then two, on another hand, like as a team, someone who's an employer, they expect you to be there 100% of the time, especially if your team is trying to, rally for a playoff position and need to be there. And then in terms of Kawhi, it maybe is, to me, I think it'll end up only be a unique case because of how great he is, how special he is, how much of a talent he is on both sides of the ball, that he's proven himself, to already be kind of a fragile player. So they kind of need to do this. But I don't think this is going to be the norm that every superstar is going to start asking for load management, because I don't think teams can afford to do that. Not every team is the Clippers and that Paul George who could drop 30 points, in Kawhi's absence over the last couple of